Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. You know, Angelina, sometimes I feel like we're constantly bombarded with images of overnight success, the aha moments, the grand reveals. Everything looks so exciting and glamorous on the surface, right?
Absolutely, John. It's like we're all wired to expect fireworks and confetti every time we make progress. We see the finished product, the grand achievement, but we rarely get to peek behind the curtain at the endless hours that went into making it happen. It creates this unrealistic expectation, I think.
Totally. And that's exactly what we want to talk about today, the unsung heroes of success. Because honestly, when you strip away all the glitz and glam, most truly remarkable progress doesn't happen in those highlight reel moments. It happens on the ordinary days. The, dare I say, boring days.
Oh, the boring days! I love that framing. Because it's true, isn't it? Most of the real, foundational work that builds towards something great, whether it's a skill, a business, a fitness goal, or even a relationship, it rarely looks exciting while it's being done. It's often just showing up.
Exactly. No applause, no huge breakthroughs, no sudden surge of motivation, just the quiet grind. And this is where discipline truly shines, because disciplined people don't rely on excitement to get things done. They rely on routine. They rely on the habit of showing up.
That's such a critical distinction. Because motivation is fleeting, right? We all have those bursts of energy and enthusiasm when we start something new. But what happens when that initial spark fades? That's when most people quit. They say, it's not fun anymore, or I've lost my passion.
Right, and that's precisely the trap. They mistake the initial fun or excitement for genuine progress. But disciplined minds understand something fundamental. Boredom is not the enemy of growth. It's often a prerequisite. It's a sign that you're digging in, laying the groundwork.
It's a filter, really. The people who can push through that feeling of repetition, when the results aren't immediately visible, those are the ones who build lasting success. Think about anyone who's mastered an instrument, for example. It's not the thrilling stadium concerts that build skill, it's the hours and hours of practicing scales in a quiet room.
Such a perfect analogy. Or a writer who spends weeks just outlining, researching, getting the structure right, before a single exciting word makes it onto the page. Or an athlete doing the same drills day in and day out, long before any competition. It's that consistent, often tedious repetition that hones the craft.
And it builds a beautiful chain, doesn't it? Boring days build habits, habits build skill, skill builds confidence, and confidence, well, confidence builds success. It's this quiet, unassuming process that ultimately leads to extraordinary outcomes.
I think one of the hardest parts for people to grasp is that during these boring days, it often feels like nothing is changing. You're putting in the work, but you don't see any immediate return. The scale isn't moving, the subscriber count isn't skyrocketing, the project still feels miles away from completion.
And that's where so many give up, John. Because we're so conditioned to expect instant feedback. We post something online, we expect likes within minutes. We start a diet, we expect to lose 5 pounds by tomorrow. But real, sustainable change, the kind that lasts, it's slow, it's almost imperceptible day to day.
But something is changing, even when you can't see it. Your consistency is building, your resilience is strengthening, your work ethic is compounding quietly. It's like a savings account for your goals. You don't see the interest compound daily, but over time, it becomes significant.
Exactly. That daily practice, even when it feels like a slog, is reinforcing neural pathways, building muscle memory, deepening understanding. You're literally resculpting your brain and your abilities, one boring day at a time. It's powerful, even if it feels mundane in the moment.
I think about my own journey with writing, for example. There are days when the words just flow, and it feels exhilarating. Those are the highlight days. But then there are the vast majority of days where I sit down, staring at a blank page or editing for hours, and it feels like pulling teeth. It's tedious, sometimes frustrating, definitely not exciting.
Oh, tell me about it. For me, with my fitness routine, some mornings I wake up feeling energized and excited to hit the gym. Other mornings, it's a battle to even put on my sneakers. But it's those battle mornings, when I show up anyway, that really define my progress, because it's then that I'm building that bedrock of discipline, that trust in myself.
That's it. It's a matter of trust. Trusting the process, even when it doesn't feel good. trusting that the cumulative effect of small, consistent actions will lead to something bigger. Because success isn't just created in those peak moments, it's created in the hours no one talks about. The practice, the planning, the repetition.
And that's where the real magic happens. It's not magic, though, it's just consistent work. If you can stay disciplined when it's unexciting, when you're not getting external validation, you will absolutely succeed when it truly matters. You'll be ready because you've built that foundation.
So, how do we embrace these boring days, Angelina? How do we shift our mindset from dreading them to actually respecting them, understanding their immense value?
I think it starts with reframing. Instead of thinking, ugh, I have to do this again, try, this is an opportunity to strengthen my discipline, or this is another brick in the wall of my ultimate goal. It's about focusing on the long-term vision, not just the immediate feeling of the task.
That's a great point. Connecting the mundane task to the bigger picture. When I'm editing a particularly dry section of text, I remind myself that this painstaking work is what makes the final piece polished and impactful. It's not just editing, it's crafting quality.
And also, recognizing that boredom isn't inherently bad, it's just a feeling. Sometimes it's a sign that you're doing deep, focused work that requires sustained attention. It's not always about needing a new stimulus, sometimes it's about pushing through the current one to master it.
Yeah, and I think ritualizing the boring can help too. Create a routine around it. Maybe it's a specific time of day, a particular playlist, a certain type of coffee you make just for that task. These small rituals can make the act of showing up feel more intentional and less like a burden.
Oh, absolutely. I have my deep work playlist that instantly signals to my brain, okay, time to focus. It's like a cue, and it really does make those repetitive tasks feel less draining because you're not fighting yourself as much, you're just executing the routine.
It's about cultivating a deep respect for the routine, isn't it? Understanding that the boring isn't a detour from success, it eyes the path to success. It's the invisible architecture that holds everything together.
That's beautifully put, John. The invisible architecture. Because one day you will look back, and you'll realize it wasn't the flashy moments that got you there. It was those quiet, ordinary days of showing up, of choosing discipline over fleeting motivation, that were building your extraordinary life.
So, to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to embrace the boring days. Respect the routine, trust the process, because those quiet moments, when no one's watching, when you're just putting in the work, those are the moments that truly define who you become and what you achieve.
Exactly. They are the bedrock of everything. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey today. We hope this gave you a new perspective on the power of consistency and the beauty of the mundane.
Yeah, go out there and make those boring days count. We'll catch you next time.